Hello, hello, welcome back to Red Ted Art. First things first, subscribe to the channel. Today we have a Totoro bookmark. He's so cute. And not only do we have Totoro, we also have his little friends. Aren't they adorable? I'll be showing you how to make this little guy, and of course the others are exactly the same, just in different sizes. So come on then, let's get started. Okay, so to make Totoro and his friends, you will need one sheet of grey paper, if ideally grey on both sides. If you don't have grey on both sides like me, I've actually had to use a second piece. So I've got 2 sheets of grey paper. It doesn't matter what size, but this happens to be, I think, 15 centimetres by 15, or maybe it's 12 by 12. And a little bit of scrap white. I've also got some scissors, some Pritt stick, a grey pen, and a black pen. Now I'm also giving a quick shout out to Ellie, who's also on Instagram as xjellyblbx, and we were chatting on Instagram and she's made a Totoro, and I was like, finally I have to go and make one because it's really sweet. So big shout out to Ellie. Anyway, so let's get started. Obviously it's our traditional book corner. You take your bottom corner and you bring it up like so. Make it as neat as possible, especially if it's got white on the inside, because you don't want those to show. Bring up that corner up to here, creating a straight line down the middle. And the same here, bring that up, creating that straight line, as neat as possible. Open it up, fold this down. Now I'm going to just take this crease and flip it over because I want to have my Totoro as grey as possible. So I've just tucked it in basically. And then I'm going to bring this in and also tuck it in. You can flip it the other way, but then you might get a little white line peeping in between the eyes, which you don't really want. So get it in place like so. Now I'm going to use this sheet of paper just to create another piece of some more grey, because I want my Totoro to be as grey as possible. So I'm going to push it in as far as it will go and cut out another grey square. And then I'll keep the extra, obviously, because I'll need it in a minute to add some little ears. So I want mine to be grey all over. Put some glue on. Of course you could just colour it in if you want, but you know, I'm just making do with what I have. This is what a lot of my crafts are about. It is about making do and not necessarily going out and buying stuff especially. I think making do is a really important thing when you're crafting. But it shouldn't be expensive and it shouldn't cost you a lot. There we go. Here we go. So, flatten it. Now to shape the top, I'm just going to trim off about this much. Maybe a tiny bit more. If you're only using one sheet of grey paper, what you can do now is you can fold it out a little bit and get out you know, the flaps to create the ears, as in, you know, you can take those little dips in there and cut them out. But as I've got this extra sheet of paper, I'm just going to use this. Now I've just trimmed the little sides because I didn't want to show that I'd glued that down, but again, that's optional. I'm now cutting out some ears like so. They're kind of like sort of rabbity ears. I've cut them out at the same time so that they're the same size. Just check that I'm happy with them. I am. Put a little mark on. And as you can see, I made his little friends as well. And for that one, it's exactly the same process as the grey Totoro. Just I made my sheet of paper about 2 centimetres narrower. And then that one, I just used up some little paper leftovers, which was really cute. Now again, I need to cut myself a square. Like so. And then just check that it fits nicely. I think that's quite good. And then cut a little sort of tummy across the top. This is the bit I always have to do a couple of times before I'm happy. So let's just see how that looks. Just do a tiny bit narrower. I don't know if you can hear the rain starting. It's always noisy in my house, isn't it? Here we go. I'm quite happy with that. And then you add it. By the way, I know I mentioned Ellie on Instagram. I'm on Instagram as well as Red Ted Art. I would love for you to follow me there. Yes, so just have a look out for me. Now I'm going to cut out 2 little eyes. They're tiny, tiny. So this is really fiddly, this bit. You might have to do it a couple of times to get a perfect circle. Here we go. Oh, stuck to my finger. Stick it on. One over here. So the Totoro has slightly bigger eyes than his little friend. Put them in place. Oh, it's moving a bit. They're still drying. Like so. Actually, I had a biro there, but I'm going to use a black pen. This marks shows up a bit better. A little mouth. And then some whiskers. And then finally, you can do it in black if you want, but I quite like to match it up. You add 4 chevrons here, and then 3 here. And then if you want, you can kind of make them a bit fatter. And there you have Totoro, all finished. Here we go. Isn't he lovely? So, if you're a big Totoro fan, which we are, here you go. Cute 3 little bookmarks. Yes, don't forget to put the thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, get crafty, and see you here again soon. Bye.